What's going on, Miami Dolphins fans? Seven Carter here. Listen, I have about 5 minutes, right? Um, yeah, I have to jet out, but let me just get right to it. Me as a diehard Miami Dolphin fan, I have to talk specifically to Stephen Ross, right? Stephen Ross, you need to find out what's going on with your team, okay? You are a multi-billionaire businessman. Granted, you are not a football person. In your words, you say you hire football people to take care of football things, right? Fine. The football people that you hire, Stephen Ross, the general manager is garbage. The general manager you hired to run your team, he is garbage. He cannot draft. He cannot put the best coaching staff in place for you, Stephen Ross, to achieve success, to even compete for success. Stephen Ross, you are wasting your time with this general manager. I will get more into details about this. The time is against me right now, so I'm just getting straight to it. Well, Stephen Ross, Chris Greer needs to go. Chris Greer needs to go. He is horrible. Stephen Ross, Chris Greer is horrible. And on top of that, he hired a head coach that is equally horrible. Okay? And not even only that, Chris Greer drafted a quarterback that is equally horrible. Stephen Ross, I am pleading with you as a Dolphin fan. Get rid of Chris Greer ASAP. Get rid of Chris Greer today. Get rid of Chris Greer now. Stephen Ross, as a diehard Dolphin fan, you've been the owner of the Dolphins from what, 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, right? You came in, it was a whole mess with the Miami Dolphins front office. We understand that as Dolphins fans. You did the right thing. You cleaned out house. You say, yo, I want one voice talking to me, and that is fine. I really agree with you there. And the one voice that you picked is a great option at the time. He'd been with the Dolphins for almost 2 decades. He'd been with the Dolphins, and he started from the ground up. So me personally, I championed your decision to put Chris Greer in at that time, not knowing that Chris Greer did not know how to do the job. I thought because Chris Greer, he, according to his resume, he came from the scouting department, right, and worked himself all the way up, right. He was in there in the front office. He was working with the rest of the front office management team to pick players, draft players, sign players, free agents, all that stuff. And he really wasn't getting looked at like creditable source, even though he had the credentials. Okay, so you picked him. That is fine. At that time, that was fine. Okay, so now he got his opportunity to be the man, the one voice, the one person to be in charge of running your franchise. Okay, Now, the first thing he did, he cleaned. He hired Brian Flores. That's cool. Brian Flores didn't have no head coaching experience, all that good stuff, right? That's fine. That is fine. We are starting. We are rebuilding. That's fine. We the next thing he did, he cut down. He revamped the whole team, right? Try to clear up all the people off the books, right? Getting rid of dead cap, all that good stuff, right? He cleared up to save some money and properly build a foundation to build for the future. Okay, so Stephen Ross, your decision was good so far. Your decision is good so far. Okay. Now, Brian Flores came in. He was doing his thing. Me personally, side note, me personally, I love Brian Flores. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. Other from that, is that's the reason why y'all got rid of him? Okay, I don't have no arguments there. I don't know. That's something that you guys know what's going on. But if it was just Brian Flores getting fired because of what he did on the field, solely because of his coaching style, his coaching philosophies, his coaching results, if that's why he got fired, I would say that was wrong. But I'm coming to find out that there was some other extra things that was going on from off the field where is it right? Is it not right? That's not for me to debate. Okay, it got to a point right now where it's out of the hands of me as a fan. I don't know about other fans. For me as a fan, I don't really care about stuff like that right now. Okay, I'm more want to talk to you, Stephen Ross, about the actual teams, the state that the team is in right now. Okay, so Brian Flores is here. He's doing his thing with the scraps that he got. He actually succeed. Okay, Brian Flores actually succeed with the scraps that he got. Now, the first draft y'all draft. Now, you guys, when I say you guys, I'm talking about the front office and Stephen Ross. I don't know if you have any hand in picking the players when it comes down to draft, but I'm going to say you guys as the whole front office in a whole, right? Stephen Ross, Brian Flores, Chris Grier, okay? Three of y'all. When I say you guys, I'm talking to three of y'all at this moment in time. Now, you guys have 3 drafts in the first round, right? Y'all draft 3 horrible picks. If this is all Chris Grier, this is to further prove my point that Chris Grier needs to go. And this is a theme with Chris Grier. This is a theme of him. Chris Grier, the first pick of the draft was Joe Burrow. That's who, is in the Dolphins community saying that's who you really wanted. That's who you was tanking for. You're a Michigan guy, Joe Burrow, whatever it is, right? Okay. We didn't get Joe Burrow. Okay. Now we got 2 other quarterbacks. Technically, we have 3 other quarterbacks on the table. Now remember, we got 3 picks. We got 3 draft picks in the first round. 3. This is Chris Grier. Now we talking. The guy that you put in charge to say he's the one that's running my franchise. Why, out of the 3 quarterbacks, the one that is injured, Chris Grier choose to draft? Why? Tell me why. Somebody please tell me why the one quarterback that's in the draft, the one out of the 3 quarterbacks that's in the draft at number 5, Chris Grier needs to draft. Why is that guy he drafted? Tell me. Stephen Ross, was that your decision? Did you, Stephen Ross, push for Chris Greer to draft Tua? Did you, Stephen Ross, advise Chris Greer he better draft Tua with a bad hip, injured? Tua came in the draft with a bad hip, with a messed up hip, with a hip that he injured a few months prior. This injury didn't happen like a year or 2 years or 3 years ago. It recently happened before the draft. Did you, Stephen Ross, advise Chris Greer to pick Tua? Okay, so if 3 quarterbacks is left, 3 first-round talent quarterback is left in the draft at number 5. We are now on the clock at number 5. Chris Greer chooses to draft the injured guy. Chris Greer chooses to draft a guy that is injured at number 5, right? With a whole bunch of other speculations on why he should not be drafted there. He should not be drafted with his injury and all the other flaws when it comes down to his mobility, his arm strength, all of this stuff. You could simply say Tua would have dropped to the second round. Okay? We could argue that till the cows come home. We could debate that, not argue. Argue is a strong word. We could debate that until from now to the end of time. Okay? Okay. Now remember, we still have we have 3 picks in the draft. Why we didn't draft the best offensive lineman at the time, or the best? Remember, the team is scrapped. We need players at every position. So why didn't we draft the best position at that point, right? And then we try to see if we could get one of the other quarterbacks, or I was not a fan of this. I was definitely not a fan of this. But we got the other quarterback from Oregon at number 5. Why we didn't do that? He got better upside. Everything was better. He was not injured, Stephen Ross. He was not injured. I don't know why his name is slipping me right now, but he was not injured. Right? I don't like, from the history of Miami Dolphins, anytime Miami Dolphins pick a guy that's in the first round, a high first round pick, and he's from Oregon, it always turned out to be a bust. So I really didn't want a number 5 overall pick at the quarterback position to come from Oregon. I don't like that. That's not my thing. I don't want that. Okay? But say we didn't pick a quarterback at number 5, right? Because the two top quarterback options at that time, one of them I don't like. He's from Oregon, and one of them coming off a major injury. Okay, all right. So why are we picking an injured quarterback? Okay, let's get off of that. So we picked the injured guy. All right. Okay. Now we have 2 more draft picks, Stephen Ross. 2 more. Your general manager picks a second rounder or third rounder in an offensive line at the middle of the draft. Why? Why did he pick that guy? The scout guy, he cannot evaluate college talent. And that, for the mind of me, I can't believe none of this what he did. Right there, Stephen Ross, you should have looked at you should have had your advisors around you to be telling you stuff like that, what's going on. Because you are not a football guy. You have to have advisors about football around you to deal with your football day-to-day operations. You have to have advisors, Stephen Ross. There's no way you telling me that you as a businessman don't have advisors to advise you about football operations. Regardless, you don't know what they're talking about, but they should advise you to let you know that this was a bad pick or this was an okay pick. This Stephen Ross, you need players that is good now. First round draft picks, those players need to be good right now. Their upside need to be NFL Pro Bowl level in the draft now. Not somebody to develop. You draft players in the third round and beyond that should be developed. Not the first round, Stephen Ross. Not the first round. Okay? And this, remember, this is the theme of your general manager. Okay? All right. Going later on in the draft, we still got a quarterback on the board. We still got a quarterback in the board. Okay? We still got a quarterback on the board, should I say. Okay? All right. Why your general manager picks a cornerback that would never be picked no higher than the 5th round in said NFL draft. This general manager, who was a scout guy, picked Noah Igmanagami in the first round when you could debate that he might have been undrafted. He might would have been undrafted, Stephen Ross. This is a horrible first round for you. Horrible. This first round draft was a horrible first round draft. Okay? Now you got a rookie head coach. Okay? You got a second year head coach. Okay? That he did very well with Ryan Fitzpatrick the year before. Right? Okay. So now you going now in the season with all these things going on, Stephen Ross. Right there, you should be second guessing yourself if you made the right choice, if you had made the right decision of your general manager pick. Okay? All right. So now let's move forward. Now you get the opportunity now to see your first round, 5 overall draft pick. See how that plays out and all that stuff, and see his qualities and all that stuff. There is not one time we could look on the field and say, okay, he needs to develop, but wow, look at that arm. He could throw the ball down the field. Wow, he's going to be respected in the league. Wow, he's somebody to look forward to. Wow, he got signs to be a Hall of Famer. Wow, he could be in the Miami Dolphins Hall of Fame. Or Miami Dolphins Ring of Honor. Wow. He's a great, great quarterback to build my franchise around. He's the future of the Miami Dolphins franchise. There is not one time in the Miami Dolphins community, Stephen Ross, there is not one time in the Miami Dolphins community that everybody collectively saying Tua is the future of the Miami Dolphins going forward. Let me say that one more time, Stephen Ross. You see how you got a statue outside your stadium of a quarterback that played for what, 15, 16 years for your franchise? There is not one time as a collective, the whole Miami Dolphins community saying, this guy is the guy for our future. Not one time. You have the Dolphins Now this draft pick separated the fan base. You have some people over here saying, yo, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's the best draft pick come out of the first round, right? You have some people over here saying that, yo, listen, let's see what he does in year 3, year 4, if he's here for this long, year 5, okay? Then you have some people saying, yo, this was not a good pick, man. We need to go back in the draft the next year or the year after that or whatever and see what else we could get. This what the community is saying, Stephen Ross. This is the Dolphin community you got. Stephen Ross, let me ask you this. Since you are a businessman, is the Miami Dolphins Stadium stay filled from the first home game to the last home game? Stephen Ross, I'm waiting for your answer. Is the Miami Dolphins Stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium, stay full from the first home game to the last home game of the Miami Dolphins season in any year since Tua have been here? Stephen Ross, we want somebody. We want a team. We want the whole thing to give us hope that we have a chance every year. When Flores was here, that's the first time in a long time since Jimmy Johnson we had that opportunity. Yeah, we had a lot of coaches came through. We had Nick Saban. We had for about a year and a half, whatever it was. We have a couple of coaches. Their name is slipping me right now. We had a couple of coaches that came through and they did their thing, right? Joe Philman. Joe Philman was Wanstead. I think his name was. I think something Wanstead. I think his name was the head coach we had. He was an okay coach too until whatever. But Stephen Ross, I'm telling you, man, your general manager needs to go, man. He needs to go. Okay, this is letter number 1. This is part 1, and I will be getting more into details. I will be getting to certain details on my next live stream. So, man, listen, I hope y'all like and share this live stream, and somebody, whoever see this live stream, send this to Stephen Ross. Send this live stream to Stephen Ross. He needs to know what's going on. Since nobody telling Stephen Ross what is going on with his team, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to let him know what's going on with his team. I'm going to let him know that the general manager that he hired, he needs to go. He is horrible. He can't. The only thing this general manager does is give away Stephen Ross's money. Stephen Ross, the only thing he does is give away your money. Come on, man. I'll get more into that. I will get more into that. I'm going to have a laundry list of things that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to have a laundry list of things I'm going to talk about. So somebody give Stephen Ross this video, send him this video, let him watch this video, and let him know that I have some things to tell him. He needs to know. Okay? He needs to know. All right? So, Stephen Ross, listen to me, listen to the fan base, and please take action. That general manager needs to go today, now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. All right, man, I'm out.